Hi, good afternoon. We're coming back again. If you want to get hold of my channel, you just simply write down here, Shaalan Aldosky, then it show you YouTube. Then you click on YouTube. Then you will have all my video clips here. Then you could browse it. Okay, let's go to today's lesson. The lesson will be about simple present, how we construct simple present. We know simple present is used for the time. For example, we have it at the present time. Simple present, we could definition, we could say an event indicates about a present action of a state or affairs and general fact that are always real and permanent, or habitual behavior taking place regularly and everyday activities, or several times indicators for future timetables when ensured or followed by adverb of time of a time period. In addition to a permanent situation or event certain to happen, state verbs, future arrangements, and narration. In addition to that, the simple present tense is used in giving instructions or directions and in writing, research, and journals. Here is very important to know sometimes when we tell a story, it means narration, telling a story, or for example, when we give an instruction, for example, mostly when we go buy some equipment, we see the instruction is given in a simple present. Or maybe sometimes you give a direction to somebody, or when you write your research or you write for a journal. The present simple is also used to describe a series of actions, feelings, and reactions at the moment of the speaking. Usually when we construct simple present, we use those adverbs or phrases, sometimes we call them always, often, usually, sometimes, never, and other frequent adverbs are integrated into the sentences of a present simple time. Let's go how we construct or structuring the simple present. The main verb either, sometimes we call them be verb or verb to be, which is or is or are. Or the action verb, means something to be in action. Work, study, go. Is used to construct the simple present tense. We write like this: is or equal be, or you call them verb to be. Or vice versa, or it could be have be equal is or are. Then we look for our sentence and how to construct it. For example, have subject, always takes Then we have object. Then he, she, it takes is a professor, for example here. They, we, you, or 1 plus 1, sometimes we say we had two things added to each other. This you use it for a group, it's more than one people, then they take or. Then here the object has to be plural. Or sometimes we talk about you, about only one person, then also takes or. But here's the difference, how we going to distinguish between you as a group or you as we speaking to an individual. We look to the object. If the object is plural, then we know this you we're talking about group. But if the object is a singular, then we know this you is going to be talking about one person. Okay, the second kind of simple present, we have subject, I, they, we, you, 1 plus 1. We use the root of the verb. It means nothing added to the verb if we look in here. Then we have our complement. Then we have he, she, it. We have the verb is added s to it, or sometimes we call es. And then also adding es or s, it depends on the last letter of the verb. If the last letter of the verb is ch or sh or x or another s or o, then we add es to it. And also if we look to the last letter of the verb, if it's y, if before y we have consonant, then we have to change y to I, then adding es to it. If before y here, if it's vowel, we don't change it. Okay, let's go how to construct it. Structuring simple present sentences. Using be verbs or verb to be, am is or as a main verb in the sentences. For example, I am an officer in the homicide department. Sardar is a student at the Hawk University. My parents are from Kurdistan. Sometimes we use an action verb in the present form. For example, work, begin, study, plan as a main verb in the sentences. With the subject I, they, we, you, and a plural subject, then we use with infinitive root of the verb is used. For example, I lecture at the Hawk University. Shan and his band play music in the cafe every weekend. When we have the subject here, he, she, it, then with infinitive or root of the verb, then we add s to it. Here is very important to know, with the subject he, she, it, we add s to it. Sometimes we call this s of the third person is added to use of the verb. For example, Shan plays. If we look to the verb here, the verb is play. But because the subject is he, then we add s to it. Then we say Shan plays the guitar every day in the morning with her friends. Then we go to, sorry, my mistake here. Shan here could be a girl because we're talking about with her friends. Sam, subject. Teach is the verb we use it, but because the subject is Sam or he, then we have to add s. But because the verb ends with ch, then we add es instead of s. Then we say Sam teaches 2 English classes every semester. Then we go to, if we have it, the wind dries our skin. If we look to the verb here, the actual verb is dry. But because dry ends with letter y, but before y here is consonant, then we have to change dry to dries. Dries, because here we have the subject is group of the he or she or it. Here wind is it dries our skins. Okay, let's go. Sometimes we use extra auxiliary verb with the subject here. For example, using auxiliary do with the subject I, they, we, you, 1 + 1 with infinitive root. Then we say I do study hard to get high marks. Only we using do to put more assurance to the verb that 100% we study hard to get high mark, because here we have this do works as auxiliary verb, and in the same time we have the main verb also study. Same thing here. They do work overtime to have the job done. Okay, if we look here, same thing, we have extra auxiliary verb, then we have the main verb here. If we look to the sentences, Shan and his sister, this is one subject working as a plural because it consisted of two people. Then do, that's my auxiliary verb, then the main verb corporate, to be the project's deadline. Sometimes we have more than one auxiliary verb. For example, let's say here we have they, the subject, then we have auxiliary verb do, then we have a modal, have to, then we have the main verb. Then we say they do have to do the work before the break time. Okay, this is gonna be our sentences like this. We have they do have to, mean they are obliged to do it because they have to before the breaking time, or before they go to the break. You see an auxiliary verb, does with the subject, he, she, it, with infinitive root. The difference is here, if we look to the verb like before here, we have a subject, Sam, teaches 2 English classes every semester. Then we have the same Sam here. If I don't have this, let's say imagine we don't have does here, then I have to add s here to make it the s for this third person. You could have to say Sam works in our factory, but because I have does here, then I have to take s from the work. Then we say Sam does work in our factory. Same thing here. Sarah, subject, does, the auxiliary verb. Then we have break, the root of the verb. Sarah does work, Sarah does break the company policy for the loyal customers. We have sometimes more than one auxiliary verb as we have it here. If we look into the sentences, Sarah is the subject, does is the auxiliary verb, have to is the modal, because modal also is they are part of auxiliary verb. Then we have the root of the verb, take. Then we say Sarah does have to take a break from her job. When do we use simple present? We use simple present when we talk about a truth, something happened as a truth for everybody. Water boils when it is heated at 100 degrees Celsius. Or we talk about a fact. The sky is blue. When we talk about truth or fact, dog is the human's best friend. When we talk about fact, for a permanent fact, for example, you say Erbil is the capital city of Kurdistan region. When we talk about habit, Sam always watches TV after the school. Then we talk about routine. Shireen visits her grandmother in Ahmadiyya every week. Or a permanent situation. Sarah lives in Erbil. Then an event certain to happen. Sam turns 7 years in the coming week. Or sometimes we have a state verb. Shireen likes to teach math at Duhok High School. Sometimes we have future arrangement. The celebration begins at 3 p.m. next week. Or sometimes when we tell a story, in telling a story is the best way to make everything happen in the present time. If we look here, we have goes, then we have sees, then we have tells, then we have buy, then we have go, then we have eat. Okay? When do we use simple present? Action being repeated, mean you gotta repeat it or schedule it to take a place, or a habit, hobby, or a daily event. For example, they play football every day at 6 p.m. Then sometimes we have like this, we have adverb. Usually adverb goes before the main verb and after the auxiliary verb if we have it here. For example, Sam usually forgets, that's my main verb, to feed the birds. Or sometimes we say Sarah always, that's my adverb, then my main verb is leaves her dirty clothes on the floor. When we talk about generalize a trend about people or things and believing in the truth of a fact in the past, present, and future time, it means every time would be true. Kids like ice cream, that's my verb, main verb. Or you could say Dhaka is a city in Kurdistan. And we know here my main verb is the auxiliary verb. Or sometimes we say an event is scheduled to take place in the near future. For example, the last metro, which is my subject, leaves, that's the main verb, then Erbil International Airport at midnight. Or sometimes we describe an action is taking place or is going to take place now. For example, the child, that's my subject, needs is my main verb, then I have to add s to it because the subject is he. Your help right now, that's my gonna be complement to the object. Sarah, subject, is the main verb or auxiliary verb. Here, now. That's gonna work as an object for the sentences. How we know how to make an adding s to the end of the main verb. Then we have, when we have a sentences, a subject is he or she or it is the subject. Then we have to add s of the third person is added to the end of the verb. Sam writes an email to his parent and talks for 1 hour every day. That's his habit. He's writing them, and at the same time, every day, and every time he has a chance, they talk to his family. The third person s is omitted as does is integrated. When we have it here, we have s here. If you go to this verb, and this same thing with this verb, but when we have does, we add in does to the sentences. Then here, when I add does, I have to take out the s of the verb. Then I have to make it like this. Sam does not write an email to his parents and talk, because here I don't have does, and also I don't have s here. The reason here is exactly the same thing like we have like this. Then we say, and he does not talk for 1 hour every day. But sometimes we delete the subject and the auxiliary to make it short. That's the only reason we do it here. Sometimes we use those verbs with the present simple. Usually those adverbs, always, every or never, now and then, often, sometimes, seldom, usually, occasionally, rarely, use it after the auxiliary verb and before the action verb. If we look here, the officer, this is the subject, is the auxiliary, and then I have the adverb here, okay, and then I have vigilance. On his duty is gonna be working as the object for the sentences here. But if we look here, the second sentences, same subject, the officer, usually is the adverb used. Then I have the action verb goes. If we look here, that's my action verb. If we look to the adverb here, the adverb here, it goes after the auxiliary verb. And we said before the action verb, as here, to his break at 12:30. Then we have the police officer. Because here I have a plural, then I don't need S here. Often go to their break at 12:30. Then we have Sam and his father. Seldom, that's the adverb. Then I have the verb, or the main verb, go to a party together. Wolf and sheep are never close friends. Same thing if you say wolves and sheeps, but you say wolf and sheep is the same thing. Or that's my auxiliary verb, auxiliary verb. Then I use the adverb after the auxiliary verb. Okay. Sometimes we said we add do and does to the auxiliary verb as auxiliary verb to the sentences. Here I have it, subject I, they, we, you. We could sometimes 1 + 1 or plural, subject. Then we use do with them. Then I have the root of the verb. Then I have object, sometimes say complement. Then I have he, she, it. I have to use does with them. Then work in our company. Adding do or does to the action verb creates an extra certainty to the verb, meant to make more assurance. Do is used with I, they, we, you, or one plural, or 1 + 1. As a subject, while does is used with he, she, it. Okay, let's go here. Using does, the main verb in the sentences does not require s or es. If we use this does as auxiliary, with the auxiliary verb to work as the main verb with the main verb, then we don't need to add s or es to be added to the sentences. For example, if you look here, I always read newspaper. I do not always read newspaper.